Okay. So I know I broke Miss YouTube in my last video, but this one is really gonna put her through extensive maintenance. I will do my best to edit around this video since the yellow badge of demonetization is a cruel fiend, but I will say it here, given the interesting subject here, viewer discretion is advised, as if it has to be said. So, where do we begin? Well, in December of 2019, Funimation announced that it'll stream the television anime of writer Amahata and artist Masha's Interspecies Reviewers manga. Not only would they stream the series subbed, but also simuldubed. Given that the source material was the manga series released back in August 2016, the majority who knew the story and saw this announcement had one of the following reactions.
What the f? Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Needless to say, we waited to see how the show would animate such a raunchy story, as well as see how Funimation would handle the dub. Turns out, by episode 3, Funimation had a huge nope moment and dropped the simulcast like their reputations depended on it. If any. This only caused slight outrage, but mostly hilarious teases to push Funimation to continue what they started. The main defense Funimation had was that this particular show went against their standards, but the community was quick to point out other titles they have dubbed and released that could arguably be worse than Interspecies Reviewers by comparison. Then, wouldn't you know it, the myth, the legend, and the icon of the anime YouTube culture, Nuxtaku himself, not only gives his take on the curious situation, but also prompted his followers to go to My Anime List to give Interspecies Reviewers a perfect 10 out of 10 score. This caused outrage to Mouse supporters, thinking that this was going against everything the website stood for. But one would argue that's all this website is for, given all the catfights this website has held. Fandoms be fandoms. But alas, the damage was done, and any attempt to push this anime away only made the community want to watch this series even more. And after all of the hype, the attention, and the memes, is Interspecies Reviewers deserving of such praise and disdain? Ladies and gentlemen, what am I watching? Ishizoku Reviewers, aka Interspecies Reviewers, is a sexual fantasy manga series created by Amahata and illustrated by Masha. It was serialized through Nico Nico Sega's manga website Dragon Age back in August of 2016. The series was then produced into a 12-episodic show produced by Studio Passion, the same studio that brought you Sisterly Love, the random show High School Girls Edition, and the reboot No One Expected. The story, if you haven't heard of it already, takes place in a fantasy setting full of adventurers of many different races. But instead of focusing on their adventures and trials, we get answers to many questions that have plagued mankind's mind for many centuries. And that is, if you actually met an elf, a demon, or any other kind of interspecies being, what would it be like to, you know, have some, intimate fun with them? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, say no more.
Say no more, now to me, nudge, nudge.
Two adventurers by trade, named Stunk, a human, and Zell, an elf, randomly rescue a fallen angel being attacked. Grimvale the angel states that he cannot return to the heavens until his halo has healed and is in debt to Stunk and Zell for saving him. Realizing that he is a male angel and never figuring out that angels can have both, parts, if you know what I mean, our gallant heroes decide to take Krim under their guidance and introduce them to the wonderful world of Succubus District, a popular street filled with many different types of brothels, involving different types of interspecies partners and how they serve the customers with their different traits. The show basically has us following these characters to different brothels while making reviews of their experiences, to the discomfort of Medri, the bar maiden working at the bar the gang usually hangs out at, while also hiring Krim to work and live there. To quickly go over her character, she seems fine with the guys posting their reviews as they tend to make profit for both the bar and the group, but draws the line when anyone tries to flirt with her or make any pervy jokes to her dismay. The group for the most part respects her stance, but some will try to push her limit. Knowing her character basically sets up the entire series, as our characters unashamedly explore every brothel while reviewing their experiences with each type of Sakyu girl, as they're called, to the dismay of Medri. On one hand, she can't necessarily stop these guys from doing their thing, especially with women of her own species, but Stunk and Zell can go a bit overboard while disrespecting her boundaries.
今夜一発やる。
新年早々死にたくはないでしょ。
すいませんでした。
At least she knows how to handle them. And speaking of pushing the boundaries, let's see what this show had to offer that continue to test the decency laws placed for Japanese television. Let's see. We have dragging a shy angel to have his first time with a cat girl soon after he's rescued. Fairies measuring hoses.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard and they're like,
Priorities. Gender bending. Slime girl bondage. You like toys? Something that made you Google hyena biology. Very thirsty lilins. Very thirsty spicy sausages. Mushroom innuendos. Build a waifu workshop. Night bright group sessions. Egg-laying fetishes that I made Misty Chronixia watch.
Is she gonna lay an egg?
Yep!
Oh my god!
Torture role-playing. Squeezing mail bottles till they're dry. Necrophilia. The real witch's brew. Clone waifus. 50 Shades of Gnome. The Energizer incubus who keeps going and going and going and booze and boobs. Contracts are sexy. I dream of waifu. And let's not forget the,
The Main Street Correctional Parade.
Well, that's something. So why is this the best anime of 2020, as I question whether or not I'm being sarcastic? As a whole, it's what Giguk perfectly titles as a hentai sitcom. The plot is honest, but a very upbeat and positive experience. Hardly anyone is being exploited or manipulated, and it genuinely explores the idea of mating with these different types of women. They go into depth over what the girls like, what the requirements are, what they smell like, what usually turns them on, and what the experience will be like. The most fascinating example to me is the Demon Girl Brothel from episode 12. Their whole business runs on contracts, but you have to be very specific over the deal. If you don't think too carefully on the terms and conditions, you could end up being in a misfortunate and undesirable experience. So their whole image of being sadistic and cruel basically started from their partners not fully understanding the deal they were making with the girls. But the reputation gets cleared up thanks to these reviews made by the gang. Each scenario goes into full detail that makes you wonder how the writers would come up with this kind of stuff, but you appreciate the full effort they put into building this world. I mean, you can't say they didn't give this idea enough attention, and if I have to go further into detail, I'll cover the ideas that I liked and the ideas that made me feel a bit iffy. Kinda spoiling a few things here and there, so if you want to avoid this analysis, skip to this timecode here. First off, we start with an interesting question that could honestly land in a game of Would You Rather. Stunk and Zell argue their preferences in regards to age and appearance. To Stunk, age doesn't really matter as long as you look fine. But to Zell and the others, they believe age is more important, as they'd rather sleep with an elderly looking human than an elf who looks young but many centuries over. So I basically ask you, would you rather sleep with an elderly looking human who's roughly 60 to 70 years old, or a younger looking elf but she's 500 or so years old? Definitely a question I didn't expect to see, but it's one of many ideas the writers came up with to build this world. The fairy brothel brings up the idea of sleeping with partners of all shapes and sizes. The brothel has a variety of fairies, but they have their limits in regards to size, so the headmistress has to measure the group before entering. Not only is it another interesting detail to this world, we also find out amongst all of these guys who has the bigger package. Aww, I'm actually proud of him. And this scene right here... Yeah, nah, I'm sorry, that's just comedy gold. Next, let's address the episode that made Funimation give a big fat nope! The gender-bending episode opens up a whole new world of exploration and curiosity to those who really want to know how it feels on the other side. At the same time, the brothel has to keep every customer inside until the spell wears off, just to make sure no one causes any unnecessary drama with unknowing citizens. I I like that idea a lot. It explores the idea while giving history over the pros and cons of these transformations. Though I will admit I was a bit irked when the gang questioned Crim's curiosity to share his experience with another man given the situation. They may have switched genders, but that wasn't going to convince them to fully experiment with someone of their original gender. And I get that they don't fully realize Crim's entire body anatomy, but just let the guy have some fun. At least Crim's brave enough to try it, and that right there is saying a lot. Then we have one of the most interesting brothels with an elemental obstacle, the Fire Salamanders. For most customers, these ladies are too hot to touch, but they came up with a different kind of service that's still quite appealing to most customers. They literally use their bodies as hibachi grills. Customers can take any piece of meat like steak slices, bacon, and sausages and cook them on the girls. Those that are heat resistant, like Crim, are able to spend some more time with the girls, but at least other customers have alternative activities. Honestly, it's just funny seeing how far the animators go to ruffle the feathers of the censorship laws they have. Just, oh my god. Whew. They went there. The most touching story definitely goes to the Cyclops girls. They're told from day one that the most attractive mates in their culture are the ones with big eyes, so those with smaller eyes feel insignificant. But the gang gives their honest opinions about their services, and it gives female Cyclops with smaller eyes more confidence in their own beauty. I mean, if I had to make a list of the top 10 most heartwarming moments in anime, I'd honestly find a place for this cute little story. Also, girls with big eyes have an eyeball licking fetish, and it's gross. Are you sure that's sanitary? It looks questionable to me. The Myconids may be a cheeky way to insert mushroom jokes, but I just love this hostess. She can tell by your species exactly what would satisfy you and nails it out of the park. But she never hosted an angel, and the look on her face is priceless. Definitely one of my favorite moments. You a human? Oh, I got you covered there, big boy. You an elf? Nah, easy peasy, I know exactly what you're looking for. Angel. I've never had one. The egg episode! This was honestly their weakest episode to me. I know there are people who are into this kind of stuff and the show addresses it in their own way, but I can't look at boba teas the same way ever again. It's just not my thing, but to each their own. And then we get to torture role-playing! I never thought I'd say that in a review, but here we go! I love how the show addresses this idea with some of the members trying to get into the act, but poor Crim keeps breaking character because he doesn't know how to act sadistic. That and one of the girls was a very bad actress and it made me laugh. Just remember everything I said about adult role-playing in my video, More 50 Shades of Buddha.
Let's play the hairless chihuahua and the well-hung Great Dane.
These ladies can be very creative. This brothel just comes up with a new scenario each week and the customers come to play. A cute and harmless idea, and I like it. Hey, did you know they have a Halloween episode? I like Halloween episodes. They're my favorite. And I love how Dracula personally takes these guys to his brothel and joins them in the review. That is amazing. Plus, Crim has his own fun with a witch's brothel, and I'm like, good for you. Go have some fun. You go, Crim. Then there's the city where everyone dates the same girl and it's just multiple copies of a witch's clone. So she's literally giving hundreds of customers 3 days of paradise without even moving a finger.
Good for her.
And then we get to the finale. I honestly love how they ended this series with our characters looking back on their past visits. It's New Year's Eve and they want to start the new year with their favorite partners, but all of the brothels are booked. What else can they do? The answer is honestly pretty cute and I love it to pieces, so I won't spoil it here. Overall, Interspecies Reviewers is fun and harmless to me. It's one of few shows that actually addresses sex and pleasure in a positive light. This show is fan service and ecchi galore, but it comes off as harmless fun to hardly anyone's expense. The only characters that are sometimes in uncomfortable situations are Crim and Medri. Crim is part of the gang and tags along to most of the brothels, but is often the most shy and reserved given his background and nature. Medri wants nothing to do with their lifestyle, but ends up getting teased by Stunk and Zell, only to be put in their places immediately. Throughout the series, she knows how to control their behavior, and will at times ignore their advances to their dismay. So I only see this interaction as a minor nitpick and just a simple running gag. Look, what I'm trying to say is, I see this show as more than just another edgy show. This is one provocative show that doesn't have me rolling my eyes or sighing because it needs the ecchi in order to get attention. It's just downright open and honest with its idea and goes into it without holding anything back, and I for one appreciate everything about it. Each girl is different, each scenario is creative in positive and weird kind of ways, and each episode draws your attention. Putting the drama and the memes aside, I genuinely think this is a great show. Not for everyone, but I had a lot of fun watching this series, as you can probably tell with this amazing t-shirt that I am wearing that you can also have over at our Teespring store. Seriously, I love this shirt, and when people send me pictures of them wearing the t-shirts, it makes me happy. I am fortunate enough to watch this series using Anime Lab here in Australia. Sadly, I cannot say the same for the American audiences since Funimation and Amazon have pulled this title from their streaming services. Some think Funimation should have done their research and read the manga first, but here's what I think. Maybe simulcast dubs is a bad idea! But I digress. Do what you gotta do to watch the series if you're curious, but I would highly suggest using Anime Lab since they were the only legal source to not back down. If you have seen the series, let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. This is one roller coaster ride I will be riding again and again, and highly recommend it to those who want to watch a hilarious and fun show. If you're in the mood, if you're in the mood to watch a positive adult show full of interesting ideas and a positive approach to adult fun, then you should definitely check out Interspecies Reviewers. Oh, and as for the opening theme song, I said it once, and I'll say it again. It sounds like the YMCA.
It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Also, I plan to do a tier list of each Suckyu girl to rank each girl by my own preferences, so be sure to stick around for that one. Makes me wonder how Sumi would rank these ladies. Wait, where is that little pervy furball anyways?
Well, hey there, cutie pie. Y'all looking for a moving experience tonight?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, sure, he's polite with her. Anyways, my amazing supporters on Patreon have actually voted for our next episode. So, what's next on What Am I Watching? Oh, down the rabbit hole we go, folks. I made a bunny pun.
But a prostitute is someone who would love you no matter who you are, what you look like. Yes, it's true, children.
What's the name of that group playing on stage?
Who?
The name of the group.
Who?
The group on stage.
Who?
The group playing on stage.
Who?
You're starting to sound like an owl, Skippy.
Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. I'm not a cat. I don't say meow.
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
God darn it, Mr. Lamar. You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
Kicker.
When I wake up, first thing I do, eggs, is to look around for something to chew. Exactly.
And don't f*** with me, because I have the power of God and anime on my side.
Hey again, how's it going?
So good. Blowjob, please.
He's Quagmire, Quagmire. You never really know what's gonna be next. He's Quagmire, Quagmire. Giggity, 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 let's have sex.
I'm your biggest fan. What do you say to that?
I'd say puberty was inordinately kind to you.
They're always coming and going and going and coming. And always too soon.
So, just try not to be an ass for like 5 minutes.
I can't make any promises.
Freaking ghost man. Freaking man, baby.
To make a long story short, I put a whole bag of jelly beans up my ass. And it's 24 hours later and I ain't find none yet.
Are you coming or dying?
I'm not sure.
Hey. Go f yourself. Only if you watch me.
Oh, that's not right. No.
I got you a little something.
Is it a cure for syphilis?
Oh.
Yeah, we like it down here because we can woolly mammoths.
You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals. so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Do it again now.
I take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start melting away. Bow, bow.
Just FYI, I could be used for snoo-snoo.
Silence! You won't die like last men visit Amazonia?
What'd they die of?
Crushed pelvises.
We're the sauce on your steak, we're the cheese in your cake. We put the spring in Springfield.
We're the lace on the nightgown.
The point after touchdown. Yes, we put the spring in Springfield.
Seriously, I'm not even kidding. I had way too much fun watching this series. Like, whenever I was like playing games or doing some chores, I'm like, wait, what day is it today? Interspecies Reviewers Day! And I just watched it. I just watched the episode. I loved episode 12 with Demon Girls and the New Year's celebration. I also love the Halloween episode. So if you have seen this series, let me know what your favorite episode is in the comment section down below. And yes, I'm gonna make a tier list ranking each of the Sucky Girls based on my preferences. This ought to be a treat. So for future updates on our next videos, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Links are in the description box down below. And again, I want to give a special thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Our channel is able to thrive and survive because of all of you amazing people, so I just cannot thank you guys enough. More awesome videos will be on the way, so stay tuned to Anime America.